Okay, this is Monday, June 24, and it is about 10 minutes to 7, and I'm getting a chance to video on the west side of the nest. Good thing about it over here is the sun is at its brightest. So these should be real nice and clear, colors nice. And with any luck, we will see Katori come out and bring a fish. And the other eaglet maybe get up close onto that perch or somewhere in the frame here. I can see it moving now as we speak. Look at that. I said it and it's almost like he heard me. That's too funny. He's like, hey, wait a minute, don't leave me out. I think they're both female, and I've got one named Drasana for the one that's on the perch all the time. That means daughter of the sun, and I just absolutely love that name. And she is definitely the most outspoken, passionate one. She's always the one on the perch, and the other one who is typically in the nest, and they look so much alike, the markings and everything. The Drasana has less white on her chest. And eaglet number 2, I've got several names, I'm trying to decide on a second one here, appears to be maybe a little darker too. That's her on the right hand side. We got a boat right close to us, that's what you're hearing right now. Just let me adjust this just a little bit. So yeah, there they are. Katori was perching a little lower. I was hoping to video her, but she left and I didn't get a chance to get set up. So I'm going to hang out here a little bit tonight, not too long. It's 7 o'clock, maybe for the next half hour, and see if I can't get a real nice action shot. I just can't believe how unbelievably hot they must get up there with all that down on them. And there really is no shade. Katori will often perch underneath the nest where it's at least shaded. That's a white pine tree there, so lots of good shade under a white pine. And I've seen videos of eagles playing down in the water even, and I've yet to see that. The only time I've ever seen any of them go down to the water is when they were trying to grab a fish. But boy, if it was me on a hot day like today, covered in down and feathers, I'd be in that water for sure. I'm really surprised I haven't seen it. In fact, there's a real nice stump out front that I figured they could kind of perch on and then just dip in the water a little bit, but I've yet to see that. It'd be a cool picture. Now there's the second eaglet going back to the center part of the nest, and when she does that, I can't see her. It's pretty steep angle shooting up to these nests, so they literally have to be right on the edge. When they're in the center, you just can't see them. But skies are blue, and the color looks real good. It's nice. I wrote some eagle friends of mine about Dakota, and the one friend had told me that if he was gone just a couple of days, there's really not much reason to be alarmed. But if it stretches into 4 or 5 days or longer, then there's reason to be concerned. And I really don't know. I know I was off Saturday and Sunday, and he was not around those 2 days. Of course, this is now Monday. The last time I'd actually saw him and photographed him was on Tuesday. And it was really kind of interesting because he was just kind of having fun soaring in big circles over and over again around my property. And I took some pictures, but generally when you shoot up into the sky, it's not much of a picture. It's just all blue. There's no real background. There's no real distinction in the picture. And of course, they're far away, so it's not a great picture, but I took it just to kind of document the time and just to remember. I love it seeing them like that. It's almost like they're just saying, I love being an eagle. They're not out really hunting or doing anything with a purpose, just enjoying how God made them, So that was on Tuesday, the 18th. And I don't know if he's been around a couple days after that or when exactly he just stopped coming around. So I'm still investigating. I'm waiting to hear back from the state ornithologist, Scott Summershoe, and see what he might know. And there's some other people that are very knowledgeable of eagles that I've yet to tap into their resources. But I was pretty bummed out. I wouldn't be if I knew that he was okay and it was just some kind of a pattern that maybe he's seeing that the eaglets have advanced far enough that he can kind of gain a little more of his independence. It's kind of a bummer for Katori because it puts a whole lot more weight on her because she's still got to feed them. She's got to go out every day and find food and feed them and feed herself, and that's no small thing. Eating a couple pounds of fish a day, each bird will. So, I feel bad for her. I really do. And, I talked with a friend today. It's like, an animal can definitely feel emotion. They obviously can't express it in words. But I have to wonder what she's thinking. I mean, he has been such a great mate for her, and he has provided so well for these eaglets, and then all of a sudden just be gone. It's just, man, it breaks my heart. I can only imagine how she must feel. I just have no way of knowing, but I hope she sees it through, continues to keep up, and maybe he'll show up again. I don't know what that's about. I'd be a very happy camper, and I'm sure she would too if he came back and maybe just took a little break. Because it's going to still be a while yet. They're 10 weeks old today. 10 weeks today, and they start flying in about 12 weeks, so they got about a couple weeks to go. And I know it's not a perfect science. Somewhere close to that, they'll start taking small flights. And then anywhere from 6 to 9 weeks, they'll hang around. They still have to perfect their flying and learn to hunt for themselves and feed themselves. And, that's not going to happen the first time around. So that's a long period of time to kind of just sharpen their skills, both hunting and flying. So, and Katori's going to be depended on to feed them when they've been unsuccessful, given their first few attempts at getting food for themselves. They're going to get hungry, and she's going to feel the need to provide for them. So, I don't know, Dakota. We still need you around, buddy. This is life in the wild. It's not always easy for these guys. It's one of the things that make them such a great symbol. They are terrific survivors. I mean, when the storms came, that nest at the top of the tree, winds blowing, it snowed, it hailed, it rained, and these poor things are right up at the top of that tree, just weathering it all, hunkering down. They survive. They're a great symbol for this great country of ours, and we could probably take a few lessons from them with all the craziness that goes on. I guess it was Ben Franklin that wanted the wild turkey to be the national bird. Well, I love turkey, but that just doesn't give you the same type of high aspiration and pride as a bald eagle. I think they made a good choice. Now these guys aren't bald yet. They won't get their white heads and white tails and all brown on the chest and wings until about 5 years. So when they reach maturity, that's a sign of maturity for them. Their beaks will be that golden yellow color. They are a little bit now, but they'll look the part in 5 years. So be nice to catch Katori coming in.